again, everybody. My name is John D Healy. People know me because I produced this book for Stoney McGurn, a good friend of mine, and that's how it all started. You can get it on Amazon. It's also on audio, some adult content, so watch out. My sponsors are Liffey Van Lines, a moving company here in New York City, and they've been around for longer than Jeopardy. Today, I'm just going to be doing a review of some of the stuff we did in March and mentioning some of previous podcasts. My last podcast went out for St. Paddy's Day special with music and traditional music from West Cork. And here in New York, I had a young singer. I did get his name wrong, so I want to apologize right now, immediately, to Jimmy Grady. His father is Ger Grady and his mother is Paula Grady, but her maiden name is Neary. So I kept calling the young lad Jimmy Neary, but Jimmy Neary was a famous man here too in New York. There's even a street named after him. So let me go back and let you know what happened in March. Well, I attended the Mayo Society dinner dance out in Antoine's on Saturday last week, and I'm going to give you an update now on all of that. The winners of the Mayo Lady of the Year, Man of the Year, the Mayo Man of the Year was Brendan Armstrong. Obviously, Irish roots, made his way up through the ranks, starting off as a security guard at, I think, various stadiums, and all the way up to his own company, dealing in electrical and security and stuff like that. Dawn Doherty is the Mayo Lady of the Year for this year, 2023, for the Mayo Society. Dawn was born in New York City, but raised in Castlebar, and her glory is music, singing, and dancing. She's won many, many awards. She's a beautiful young woman, married with family, and she's also involved in dance therapy. So I spoke to Dawn, and I will be having her on the podcast very soon in a few weeks. And I probably will have Adam Cardona of Elite Healing and Massage Therapy on, maybe together, to share some ideas, the benefits of movement and health and wellness and all that, because they seem like two good people to have on to explain all that, which is important, because it's important that we keep our bodies fit and in shape and all that, but we must at least. Now, the organising committee for the Mayo Society, let me look at the list here so I don't get it wrong. Rita Lydon, Mary P. Coyne, and I said Betty McLaughlin. Michael McMahon is the president. The vice president is Kieran McAndrew. So they put all the hard work in. Just so you know, a little background to the Mayo Society goes back to 1879, I think. So it's been around for a long, long time. And they do a lot of good work in terms of networking and helping other organizations and including people. You can join their meetings. They meet the second Tuesday of every month in Woodside in Queens. You're welcome to attend meetings, see what's going on. And if you want to become a member, they will fill you in on the process of how to become a member and the benefits of being a member. But the benefits of just going to the meetings is good in itself. So that was the Mayo Society dinner dance. The band, it was excellent. The food was excellent. My table was sponsored by Liffey Van Lines. I did have some guests at the table, of course, but I won't dwell on that right now. Food was excellent, and drinks and all of that. The music was top-notch. The Mayor of New York stopped by. Mayor Eric Adams gave a beautiful speech, very elegant, explained the similarities between civil rights and Irish immigration back in the day, no Irish need apply, and all of that history, which he explained extremely well. And he did say that when he was growing up, that his family always said to be good, to be sure to keep the good family name and not to disdain it. And I praised him for that, actually, myself personally. And I also gave a shout out to Gerry Adams, the former president of Sinn Féin. And why wouldn't I? We're getting closer and closer to a 32-county Ireland. I do thank Counsellor Carey for talking to me, and I do thank Counsellor Carey for giving me the brochures and promoting Mayo, because that's what it's all about. I do look forward to Jerry Coyle coming on this podcast. Jerry will be talking about his father and the good work that he did in the Civil War himself. And Jerry has connections with some famous boxers here in Chicago, and I hopefully might get one of those guys on at some point too to chat more on that. So I'll leave Mayo County Council alone now for a little while, and I'll go on to talk about the IBO. The IBO is the Irish Business Organisation, and they were established about 50 years ago as we speak. And they have 4 meetings every month, and they do a lot of good connecting and networking as well. Marching with them in St. Paddy's Day is a great day occasion, and they have an after party lots of fun and all that. But raffle prizes are sponsored by Elite Healers and Liffey Van Lines. So somebody will win a free massage on Park Avenue at 445 Park Avenue, 9th floor for Elite Healers. So that is the IBO. And now, if you like podcasts, and I assume you do if you're listening to me, I want to give a shout out to two other podcast people from the IBO. And one gentleman is Paul Finnegan. He's actually the president of the IBO, and he does a podcast called Centerpiece. And it's all, his guests are all Irish, and it's similar to this in a way where he gets their background and what to do and why they do it and all that, but maybe in a different vein. But I would recommend Paul Finnegan's podcast, Centerpiece. The other podcast that comes out of IBO is called Irish Stew. I'm not sure what's in Irish Stew. I know what's in Irish Stew, of course I do. But this Irish Stew is a podcast, and that is presented by John Lee and a colleague of his. So there are two other podcasts worth checking out. IBO, as I mentioned, 4 events every month, evening events, morning events. You could join the IBO. It's pretty reasonable to join. And that's good for networking. And they will give you a chance to, bring your business cards, promote your business or whatever you do. They even help me promote this book behind me for Stoney McGurn. So what else have I have to say to you? Well, very soon I'm getting Jimmy Grady lined up to sing Caledonia again for everybody. I want to give a big thanks to David Heaney and his family in West Cork for putting on the traditional music on my last podcast. Michael Heaney and his family, they were excellent. And the young girls that played the violin and the accordion, and the young man playing the guitar, and the songs that they sang. So look out for that podcast. It's called the St. Patrick's Day Special. And you'll hear, actually, on that podcast, young Jimmy Grady sang 2 songs. He's just going to sing one song today for us, and that's Caledonia. It was written in 1977 by Doug McLean, and that guy, it took him only 10 minutes to write the song. He was homesick in France for his homeland of Scotland, and it is viewed as kind of a Scottish national anthem. It was made famous in Ireland by a good friend, Dolores Keane. Dolores lives in Galway. So today I want to dedicate the song to Dolores Keane especially, and I want to say a word in a minute. Also, Jerry is the bartender here in New York in Peter Clark's, and he's a neighbour of Dolores Keane. So also for Jerry, he's a good man. He's also good for networking, and he refers a lot of clients to me. And I mean, people like Elite, CAD Design, and other members of my podcast I have met there, people that have been guests on the podcast. So I'm going to shout on Jimmy. Jimmy, are you ready? He's getting ready. So for Dolores King and all of my listeners, here is young Jimmy Grady singing Caledonia.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs that made me think about where I came from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. But let me tell you that I love you, and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Oh, I have moved and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving. I have lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. I have tried and I've kept on trying, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. I have traveled far with my conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. But let me steady, thinking my way's clear. And now I know what I'll do tomorrow when the hands are shaking and the kisses flow. Then I will disappear. But let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
Okay, Dolores, let me tell you that I love you. Bye for now. Tune in to my next podcast soon.